Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Moonshots and Meatballs and the MLB 2022 regular season officially can close the book. It is over. The MLB regular season is over. The postseason starts on Friday, which for us is tomorrow. This should be posted Thursday night. So whether you're watching this Thursday night or Friday morning, postseason hasn't started yet, and we are hyped. How you feeling for some October postseason baseball?
I'm feeling great, man. I feel like we're going to have an incredible playoffs to cap off what was an incredible season with a lot of milestones and historic
Oh,
moments.
incredible season. Well, like it had so much. It had great pitching. It had great feats, whether it be Judge, Pujols,
Miguel
Otani.
Cabrera, he hit 3,000 hits this year. And then the rookie class, too. I mean, we're seeing the old guys, we're seeing the
Fantastic
young.
rookie class.
Baseball's in a good spot
You
right now.
know how we had how many 100 win teams?
Yeah.
400 win team. Wait, 400 win teams. Yankees got to 99.
Yankees were
Oh,
one away.
well, 99. Oh, no. But so we'll start off with this episode. I guess we could just say how the regular season finished. Of course, the Mets, they don't end up. Everything worked out to plan. I thought the Brewers could get in, maybe the Padres did, but the Brewers, you called it. They choke losing three
What
of
they
four.
do?
They choked 3 of 4, losing 2 of 3 to Miami, or 3 of 4 to Miami, excuse me. The Mets got swept in Atlanta, which put us at the wild card position, which was tough. Your reactions?
I mean, obviously not shocked by the Brewers choking away. I mean, that's literally what they are known for. That's what they do is they choke. But the Mets shocked me. I gotta be honest. I really thought they'd get at least one
So did I,
in that
dude.
series, and I think Pete Alonso. I saw on Twitter he had a press conference today with,
Yeah,
and they were like, "How do you feel about? Do you feel it's unfair that you fell to the wild card?" And he was like, "We got swept by the Cubs."
exactly. I mean,
How else do
because
you put it?
officially we have the same record. We are one, and usually before this year, it didn't matter what your record was versus them. It was game 163, which would have been friggin' awesome, by the
That
way.
would have been
Like
dumb.
that would have been friggin' awesome. But yeah, like it's crazy. I was at a loss for words. I just felt like our pitching just didn't come to play. Dansby Swanson had a home run in every game, man. It just Scherzer didn't look like he had his stuff. DeGrom like was dominant when he was, but he just the pitches he missed badly.
Yeah,
It wasn't like, oh, like it's a slider that's like semi. It was like it'd be right, like the one O'Reilly that he crushed. That was a slider right down the middle, like on it. Like that's not what Degrom does either. That's like that's completely on Degrom like. So, and then Bassett had his probably worst outing he's had in a long time, and it was tough. Like we got to Morton, I think we got to Freed a bit. It was just hard. The strength of our team didn't show up, and even though that hurt, I have confidence in that they're just so good. Like you think how are the odds that Scherzer's not going to show up now in the postseason, make it 2 starts in a row? You're gonna bet against Max Scherzer. You're gonna bet against Jacob DeGrom.
I don't know, man. They're just on a downward trajectory.
Maybe. All right. So we'll start. All right. We'll predict these games. We'll start with just our predictions for the entire playoffs. Then we'll go into a bit detail on each of the wild card series games. And then hopefully we can get an episode out after the wild card games or maybe in between, into like the ALDS. And then hopefully one between the ALCS and the World Series, something like that. So a couple more episodes still coming at you. But we'll start with the wild card matchups. We got the Blue Jays and the Mariners, fun matchup. We got the Guardians, the young team, against the fundamental team in the Tampa Bay Rays. Then we got the Mets against the Padres, and I think my most excited matchup for I think is going to be the closest matchup, the Phillies against the Cardinals. I'll let you start. You could choose your 4 teams.
Okay.
Who you got? Who you got winning?
I hate to say it, but this is what I think happens. I think Blue Jays over Mariners. I think Cleveland makes it close, but I think Tampa takes out Cleveland. But I think that does go the distance.
Okay.
I've got the Phillies in 2.
Mm.
And oh, I don't want to say it, but
Are you gonna pick the Padres?
I think I'm taking the Padres.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I just don't think they have the offense. They don't have the offensive support.
I
I
don't know
think
if I can trust the Mets anymore,
Soto's
dude.
been coming on, but Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom, if he needs to pitch, have done fantastic numbers against Soto in his career. Soto's
Yeah.
been great against the Mets when he's faced other pitchers, but against those guys, he hasn't been great. And great pitching wins in the postseason. And while I like Darvish, I love Darvish, I'm not as big on Joe Musgrove in the postseason because he hasn't been there, really. Blake Snell in the postseason,
Blake
He's
Snell in the
gonna
postseason's
he's
good.
going to have flashbacks, dude. He's going. I don't trust it. But here's what I'll say. So I like the Blue Jays over the Mariners. I think the Blue Jays. I think this is a dirty Blue Jays team. I think the Astros have to be weary of this team. They are dangerous. I don't think the Mariners are going. I love the Mariners. I think if they played the Guardians, I would pick them. Or
Yeah.
if they played the Rays, I might have them. But I have the Blue Jays. I have the Rays. I think the Rays are just as a little comparison. You might not get this, but they're the Islanders of baseball. They are a team that might not be built for the regular season, but when they get in, they are built for the postseason. This is a team that's built to play postseason baseball, not regular season baseball. So once they get in, they are very dangerous. And not everybody sees that from the beginning, but they are dangerous. Then you move on to the NL. I also have the Phillies winning. I have that in 3, though, because they have Quintana starting their first game, which is wild to me for the Cardinals. So I think they lose that game. I think they win game 2 because it's going to be a sense of urgency. And then game 3, I think they ultimately lose with the Phillies moving on to go play the Braves. And I have the Mets winning in. I have the Mets winning in 2. I think having postseason baseball back in Citi Field in what's been forever. I think the fact that all the games are going to be at Citi Field, that place is going to be freaking rocking,
Yeah.
rocking.
Yeah.
And I think Friday, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have our black unis on. So I like us there. Move on. So then from the matchups you chose, did we choose all this similar teams? But I think the Padres Mets. So
Yeah.
it'd
The
be
Padres
Blue
Mets we
Jays
flipped.
Astros, Rays Yankees, either Padres or Mets for us against the Dodgers, and the Braves and the Phillies.
I've got the Astros over the Blue Jays.
All right. Well, we can each go. All right. So how many games?
Is that a 5-game series?
I have the Astros over the Jays as well, and I have that in 5 as well. I think people are going to underrate the Blue Jays. I think they steal one early, whether it be game 1 or game 2, and that's going to be a wake-up call for the Astros, and I think it's going to take them 5 games to get over the Blue Jays.
I think Manoah really has a coming out party these playoffs. If you don't know who Alek Manoah is,
You
just as
better.
a casual
I think
baseball
he
fan,
could take
you
over
will
as the
find
ace
out.
over Gossman. And Gossman's been amazing. Gossman has been fantastic.
I just feel like he has the balls to kind of step up.
He
and
is
be
that postseason guy.
man.
Like he is that Max Scherzer mentality. I'm coming for you.
Agreed.
All right, move on to the other one. Rays, I guess I can lead with the Rays and the Yankees.
I
like the Rays. I like the Rays in 5.
I like the Rays in 4.
I just don't. I think it's gonna go 5. I mean, it could be 4 because them for the win in Tampa, but they don't do well against Tampa in the postseason. Tampa is built for a postseason run. Aaron Judge hasn't been that guy. I mean, listen, he's been great, but they've been teams have found a way to walk around him a bit more. I'm just not as scared of the Yankees as I was the first half of the season.
A sneaky thing that's kind of gone under the radar for the Rays, Tyler Glasnow is back.
Yes, that is a huge thing. That is huge.
He's a Cy Young caliber pitcher. And if
he's a top 10 pitcher, top 15 pitcher in this league.
If he's 85%, of his like ceiling right now, he's the best pitcher in that series. Maybe Garrett Cole.
I disagree with that. I think he's the second best. The other one being Shane McClanahan.
Yeah, I like McClanahan. He's not.
I do too. X factor though is Garrett Cole. Here's what I'll say. This is Garrett Cole's do or die here. Like, you got to do something here for the Yankees. Otherwise, the contract's already an overpay. But are you a top end ace for a World Series team? You could be an ace or a frontline star, a number one starter for most teams. But are you an ace on the Yankees? That's the question. Because even though I don't like the Yankees, they are that franchise. They are what everybody knows. There's a reason why you see people in Europe and South America wearing Yankees hats. You have to be able to perform in the postseason.
If he wants to get onto that Yankees ace level of like Sabathia or a Pettit, he needs to really show up in the postseason.
Exactly. I 100% agree with you. We're going into the NL now. Braves, Phillies. I think this goes 4, probably. I think the Phillies maybe steal 1, but I think the Braves. I know they've had their trouble with Philly in the regular season, but I just don't see them matching up against the tank of the Atlanta Braves. Don't tell me you have do not tell me you have the Phillies beating the Braves.
I don't know what it is about this Phillies team that I just love. I mean, the Braves are a tank.
I just don't trust the depth of the Phillies, pitching wise or starting or bat wise. You have Harper, you have Harper,
Schwarber,
and Real Muto, and that's it. I don't trust anybody else.
Castellanos
has been terrible for the Phillies. He's been terrible. Gene Segura has never played in a postseason before. Hoskins never played in a postseason before. Neither has Nola or Nola's never done it. Wheeler's done it like once, I think, or he's been a part of it once with the Mets. Syndergaard's been in a very limited with the Mets, and he's not the same pitcher he was, so he's not going to be able to dominate like he was.
If the bats get hot, it's hard for me to see anybody beating this Philly team.
I don't see how the bats get that hot. They're such a streaky team, especially they almost blew it, dude. I don't see the Phillies.
Postseason Kyle Schwarber is a real thing.
Are you taking the Phillies? Realistically, you tell me you're taking the Phillies over the Atlanta Braves. Are you doing it?
I'm taking the Phillies.
In 5?
In 5.
Oh my God. All right, I'm taking the Braves in 4. I think they get a game. I think Wheeler or Nola. All right, we'll say Wheeler. I don't think Nola's first outing. I don't know how he'll go in the postseason. I trust Wheeler more. I think he'll pitch a gem one of those games and they'll steal a game at Citizens Bank, at the bank. But I think besides that, I think they're not on the same weight class as Atlanta. Not even close to me. I think there are 3 possible teams that come out of the NL.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about, you have one of them eliminated.
Yeah.
I'm going to have the Mets winning in 5. I think if they can set their pitching right, they played very well against the Dodgers in the regular season.
That's true.
They went 4-3 against them, and they didn't have their big guns pitching against them, I'm pretty sure, especially the first 4 games. And they've done well against the Dodgers in previous years in the postseason. The Mets do very well against the Dodgers recently in the postseason with the 2015 run, upsetting them. And there's still some of those guys there, like a Justin Turner.
Yeah.
I like this team. Here's what I'll say. The X factor for the Mets, besides pitching, obviously, for the bat side, Starling Marte. Dude's been out with a fractured finger. Apparently, he is not ruled out for the Padres series for first game 1 because he has started to he hasn't been able to grip before, like the past week, not been able to grip a bat or a ball just fully. And he's been I think he did that today or yesterday. So if he plays, changes the lineup completely. It moves McNeil back to like the 5-6 spot, adjusts everybody. And Marte, dude, he gets on base. He's fast. He's another weapon. He can bring some power. So I think if he's in the lineup, I'll take the Mets in 5. Although it's hard to pick against the Dodgers. But how often have the Dodgers like realistically, how when the Dodgers have played the past couple of years when they've played in the playoffs, I feel like it hasn't been as deep, the NL. It's been the AL versus
Yeah.
the Dodgers. It's like you knew the Dodgers were coming out. It was who are they facing in this year? They have teams that can beat them. And they haven't had that in a long time. I understand you had the Nationals and you had the Braves the past couple years, but that was more upsets and they just got hot at the right time. But if they were to play multiple series, I think that you would agree the Dodgers probably win more times out of not against the Nationals team that won the World Series and that Braves team last year without Acuna. Would you agree?
I would agree.
So this year, I think you can't say that definitively against the Braves and the Mets. These are two teams that can stand up to them. And I don't think they felt that before in the postseason in a long time. And I think it's going to cost them.
I think a lot of people are kind of sleeping on this Dodgers team, man.
Oh, I agree that people aren't I just think, I don't know, man.
This
especially
Dodgers
with
team,
Walker Buehler out, I don't.
They've got
Kershaw's always been inconsistent in the playoffs. I know he got his World Series ring, but you're gonna trust him again? Yeah. Arias, and then after that, kind of is Dustin May. He's still kind of
Dustin May is that guy
when healthy, but he's still not 100%, dude. So
this Dodgers team has the 4th best record in MLB history.
Oh, they're fantastic. I'm not telling you this team cannot win the World Series. I think there's a couple teams in that category, and the Dodgers are in that category. But I like my Mets.
I know you do. I'm going Dodgers in 4 here over the Padres.
Padres,
maybe even in 3.
I don't see if the Padres somehow get past the Mets. I think if the Padres get past them, I think the Dodgers are praying for that, to be honest, because I think the Dodgers have seen the Padres before. I don't think they are afraid of the Mets. I think they know they can easily beat the Padres. I don't think
on the West Coast. You don't have to.
I don't think that. I think they breeze, but I think it could be a sweep, to be honest. I don't think it'd be a close series.
Yeah, I've got it in 4, if not 3.
But here's what I'll say: if the Mets beat the Padres, that's going to be a lot better of a series. Would you think?
I still got Dodgers, and I don't think it goes the distance. I think it's 4 or less.
4, okay. I can respect somebody liking the Dodgers like that because they're not getting as much love as they usually do. So maybe it's time to ride the train. So I can respect that. I can definitely, if you're going to ride with somebody, the Dodgers is not a bad team to ride with. We'll go on to the.
I got one last. We usually talk about the Dodgers having those chokers in the playoffs, but they brought in a guy like Freddie Freeman who has proven it in the playoffs, proved it last year, and I think that's a big addition to the clubhouse.
I agree. I think it's also big this postseason for Trey Turner. About to get paid. Hasn't always been the greatest in the postseason. I think he gets paid regardless because he's just that good. But we'll see. Cubs option, but we'll see. I think this is big for Trey Turner's postseason legacy, let's say, or
definitely
what people think about him. We'll move back to the AL. Who wins the pennant for you? Is it the Rays or it's the Astros? For me, it's the Astros.
Yep.
It's the Astros, dude. This team is just a different animal. I have it in 5, I think, or 6. No, I think we'll go 6. I think the Rays get 2, but they'll be lucky to get 2. I think it's 5. I don't think this goes 7. I think it goes 5 or 6. I'll say 6 because I think this Rays team just knows how to win in the postseason. But this Astros team is another animal, dude. I think they're trying to get another one after the still 2017 is kind of up in the air. It's still questioned. I think they want it, and they are stacked, dude.
That lineup's crazy. And aside from Scherzer, DeGrom, there isn't a better 1-2 punch than Verlander and Framber. There's not.
Besides Scherzer and DeGrom, I'm trying to think.
Besides Scherzer and DeGrom,
I think you can make the case for a Manoah Gossman.
Maybe, but Verlander's going to win Cy Young, and Framber set the record for most.
I would say Framber Valdez is probably the most underrated pitcher in the league. Does not get talked about nearly enough because he's not the guy that goes and just strikes everybody out and is super dominant. But he just puts together. I think he broke the record or tied DeGrom's record for quality
starts. 26 in a row, I believe.
Something crazy. He just
puts the whole season.
Good starts after good starts after good starts, and that's What could you
That's
want more
what you're
for?
paid to do.
Exactly. Exactly. Especially with a team like the Astros, not for a team that's like could only is that like the Brewers where you need to pitch more dominantly. A team like the Astros, if you just put quality starts more, most likely or not, you're gonna get the W.
Yeah.
All right. We'll take it back to the NL. You have the Dodgers Braves. I have the Braves Mets. And I will have the Mets winning that in 6. In 6 because I think they win it in City Field. I think if it goes 7, I think it'll be tough to win it at Atlanta in the A, but they'd have to only win one game, I believe,
In
in Atlanta if they win all 3 games in City, which I think they could do. I think they'd probably split the first 2. Is it 2-3-2 or is it 2-2-1-1-1?
I want to say it's 2-3-2.
All right, because then all they got to do is split one of the first games.
That's true. Whether it's Atlanta or Philly, this Dodgers team is just they're making it out of the NL.
Yeah, especially if you have Phillies, not even Braves. I said, excuse me. Oh my God, if the Dodgers imagine that is such an easy. They don't have to go through
That
the
would be
Braves or
so easy.
That'd be terrible. I think that'd be terrible for baseball, to be honest. No offense, just like it'd be a walkthrough for them. I think that'd be a 4-game sweep. I think the Dodgers would be licking their chops. And to be honest, I think if that were to happen, I think they win the World Series. So do you have the Dodgers win the World Series? We'll move to that. Because I think they'll be so well rested if they only go through those 2 teams. They won't be bad. They won't have like battle scars.
I hate how I have both the 1 seeds in the World Series when it's such a deep playoffs, and I feel like really any team could make it.
I feel like there's a couple teams. I feel like the Astros can make it. Even though we have the Yankees out, I do think they can make it. And I think the Blue Jays can make it. I think the Rays can get to the pennant. I don't think they will win the pennant. Or if they get to the World Series, I don't see them winning the World Series. So I think those are the 3 teams in the AL. And in the NL, there's only 3 teams as well, I believe. I think it's the Mets. I think it's the Braves. I think it's the Dodgers. I think the other 3 teams.
You don't think the Cardinals at all?
I think the Cardinals can win a series. I don't think there's any way they get past the Braves. I don't think there's any chance they get past the Braves.
I think my pecking order right now is Astros, Dodgers, and then it's Braves, and then it's like Yankees, Mets. That's where I have like the tiers.
Okay. That's fair. But but those are the teams that you think can win.
Yeah. I think Houston, LA is such a toss up. That would be a phenomenal World Series.
I think if we can get one of the teams we've all listed as, I think the teams we've listed to both 2 of those teams, I think if you can get the Yankees, Astros, or Blue Jays on the AL side, or if you can get the if you get like the Mariners, it's cool, but I just don't think it's possible.
I don't see it.
I just don't see the Guardians either. That'd be too much.
God, that'd be so fun though. That would be so much fun.
They do not have the talent. They have nowhere near the talent. But or the Mets, Braves, and Dodgers on the other side. Even though I don't want to see the Braves win, obviously, but that will make for such a fantastic World Series. So you have Dodgers, Astros. How many games and who you got winning? And I want an MVP.
I got the Astros in 7, MVP with 2 wins in the series, only 1 run given up. Justin Verlander, and he leaves the game after the
from the Cy Young. A fine wine. The man who always ages well with time adds another thing.
I think if he retired after winning Cy Young and World Series MVP and a World Series in the last year, you can't go out better than that.
I mean, I think if he were to do that, I think the argument between him, Scherzer, and Kershaw, who's the best pitcher of that generation, I think he goes to the front. I think it's not more of an argument anymore because you can make an argument for all 3.
But the longevity of Verlander's nuts.
I mean, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
not. It's like you can't like that's the point. Like you can literally argue 1-3 and you cannot be wrong. But I think if Verlander did that, I think you probably put him 1 and then it's Scherzer, Kershaw 2-3, whatever the way you want to do it.
Yeah.
But
Who you got? Mets, Stros?
We are going to go. You gotta know what I'm going for. We're going for the New York Mets. We're gonna say in 7 games. We're gonna say in 7 games, but we're gonna go. You know, we're gonna go with the guy who has been underappreciated since coming to the New York Mets since last year. Is going to officially. The Mets fans have been cheering for him die hard this year, been telling you how he's been one of the best shortstops in the league. People don't believe it, and he's going to rise up back. Frankie Lindor MVP. You know what I was tempted to say, though, as an underrated MVP?
You were going to say Polar Bear, weren't you?
No. I wasn't going to say Polar Bear. I think he could, obviously. But I think if the Mets were to win a dark horse MVP, guys who's been scorching hot, the guy who just won the NL batting title, the Squirrel, Jeff McNeil.
Yeah. He was great in that Braves series.
He was. And if he hits a couple dingers in the playoffs or an important dinger or two, he's going to get his hits.
Yeah.
Eddie Chavez, who's the Mets batting coach, said he is the best bat-to-ball player he's ever seen. He's super good at putting bat to ball. He's gonna get his hits, I think. He's just that kind of player. If he gets the big hits and a big homer or two, I think he can get MVP. But I'm gonna go Frankie Lindor. That's mine. I like Frankie Lindor. I think he shuts the haters up. I think at the end of the year, when you're re-ranking shortstops, he's gonna be back in number 1.
As much as I would not like,
because I feel like there's. I won't want to cut you off. You can go.
As much as I would not like to see the Mets in the World Series, that would be a great pitching matchup.
Oh,
if you have to see Verlander, DeGrom, Framber, Scherzer,
and even like Bassett, Javier, like fantastic. So I mean, because back on the Frankie, what I was about to say, let me just finish.
Yeah.
I feel like there's 4 like elite shortstops or like up there that's like you could argue for number 1, whether it be Trey Turner, Lindor, Dansby, or Xander. Those are the 4 I think you could argue for number 1. If you look at their stats, because I was watching Talking Baseball, they do these awards. And they were talking about between for the NL, Trey, Dansby, and Lindor, and it was like a game separated total games. It was like it was like OPS. It was like a couple points. Everything was like minuscule. The difference between the only thing that was big was like stolen bases was like Trey Turner, but besides that, all of them played a fantastic defense. All of them are leaders. It's crazy. It's good to see shortstops getting back on that hill because you had that with like the Jeters and the Nomars, and then analytics said, hey, shortstop is like one of the few positions, like a catcher, you need to have defense at that position. So it became more of a defensive guy. And now I think it's like, all right, but you could have a defensive guy who also friggin' rakes and can be a leader on your team. Yeah. I think it's showing how important that is. Because look at most of the teams in these playoffs, Trey Turner, Dansby, those three are in it. Pena's been a very good.
I mean, Pena.
If he doesn't come up the way he does, I don't think the Astros are where they are. I really don't. They're probably in the playoffs. They're probably in the playoffs, but they're probably not the 1 seed. I think the Yankees are the only team to this exception. I think if you look at the Blue Jays, Bo Bichette has gone off this September, arguably the best player in baseball in September. Most of these teams, I know the wild cards are a bit different, but when you're talking about, I feel like there's a drop off from the other 2 wild cards. But even if you Wander Franco, fantastic. I'm trying to think. The Mariners, JP Crawford had a solid, decent year.
I like JP.
You like JP Crawford. Bryson Stott for the Yankees has been a lifesaver because Didi was terrible and they had to cut him. Tommy Edmond for the Cardinals might not be as great. He plays second and short. Might not be as great with the bat, but he's good enough, and he is fantastic in the field. So he's not your average just defensive guy. He can hit. So I think you're seeing that within the playoffs again.
Jeremy Pena with a 4.8 WAR season in his rookie year.
I mean, look at the rookies like Julio, Adley, Harris, Strider. It's been fantastic, and that's only to name a few.
Wow. Julio had 6 WAR. Holy cow.
Julio was fantastic, dude. He's
Adley
the best player.
5.2.
Yeah, he's the best player on the Mariners.
Yeah.
On hitting wise. So on a playoff team. And then you got other players. Like the Mets are calling up out. Did you see the Alvarez tank? Dude, he's going to be so good. I want him to make our postseason roster so bad and be our righty DH. Dude, if he lists one, bro, people are gonna go insane.
Oh my god.
Dude, he can hit if you told me what player on the Mets besides Pete could hit a 500-foot home run right now, I'd say Alvarez. Like he's that strong.
Agreed.
But everybody, let us know your opinions. Give us your postseason predictions. I'll tweet out mine just so you can have if you want to tweet at me bad. Let us know your postseason predictions. Let us know what you think of these wild card matchups. We'll talk definitely hopefully after wild card or after the divisional round. We'll get another podcast up. Thank you guys so much for watching, for listening. I'm Josh Sharf with Andrew Alt. I'll see you on the other side.
Love you guys.